Humans can communicate from brain to brain by telepathy, a new study finds. Let's remember, this is nothing new. What about what Jesus Christ said in the New Testament concerning the eyes being the window to the soul? Matthew 6:22-24. Our Lord Jesus Christ said, "But if thine eye be evil, the whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in these be darkness, how great is that darkness? Eyes are the mirror of the soul. A person's thoughts can be ascertained by looking into his or her eyes." Now we know that, for example, when a child is sick and the mother caresses a child, looking at him, caressing him, kissing him, whispering to him words of love, how wonderful that is, and how the child, just by that touch alone and that love, can be healed faster. The same thing happens with people that are in love, a man and a woman. They can reach each other by minds and thought. Or what about sometimes when you're talking to a friend, you both come out with the same phrase, the same tone, the same wording at the same time. Is this a coincidence? Now let me tell you what happened with me, with a friend of mine that was going through some marital problems. That was before my conversion, and it was a miracle. Having to do with mind thought, but in my case, it wasn't even a prayer. This is a miracle, and I want to tell you about it because I can still remember it. Please support my Patreon channel since YouTube has again demonetized my YouTube channel. My Patreon channel will have 5 different videos from my YouTube channel every day. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. Now, I think this is too big of a subject matter to take care of in one video, so I'll make a series of these because this has to do with each and every one of us. We are humans, and we have this inheritance of spiritual power. Now, my friend was a girl from England, from Liverpool, married to a Greek, living here in Greece. They had 2 children. They were very much in love. What happened was this man became a womanizer because he had some kind of a relationship with a woman, anyway. And he left his family. And the girl was very distraught. Every evening she would call me around 11:30 at night, and she couldn't sleep, so we would talk. And then I would say to her, go to sleep. And she says, I can't. And she says, how can I go to sleep? I said, well, pray to Jesus Christ to help you. And I remember I was using Christ's name. I wasn't even at that time, I was just living my life of comfort and, selfish-centered person with my family. Now, and I said to her, it's going to be easy. And I'll come tomorrow to visit you and I'll tell you what to do. And I said to her, this was at, I said, look, I'm going to give you a message tonight. That's how easy it would be for Jesus Christ to hear what you pray to him. I'm going to give you a message tonight at exactly 11:30 at night. And then I said, you'll tell me tomorrow what message I gave you. I mean, I didn't even know how I came to say that to her. And what happened if that didn't take place? Anyway, and when I left her house, it was exactly at 11:45 before noon. And as I was going down the stairs, I said, oh my God, we're invited to dinner tonight. What happened if I forget to give her a message telepathically, and, and she doesn't get it? I mean, that was how stupid I was. And I gave her the message at that time, 11:45 at noon. And I said in my mind, don't worry. I'm not going to use her real name. I'm going to say Dora. Okay, don't worry, Dora. Everything will be all right. Okay? Now you can see the tone of my voice. I'm an alto. She is a soprano. And she has like a little sparrow voice. So I called her the next morning. And I said, okay, Dora, did you get my message? She says, well, she says, Carol, I don't know. I don't know what to say. She says, I heard your voice, but it wasn't at 11:30 at night, she says to me. And when she said that, because I was calling her for my work, and I just sat up, frozen in my chair, and I said, "What do you mean it wasn't 11:30 at night?" She says, "It was at 11:45 at noon, the moment you stepped out of the door of my apartment to go down the stairs." And I said, "Okay, that's exactly when I gave her that thought, right? Using the name of Jesus Christ." And I said, "What was the message?" And you remember, her voice is like a little shaky sparrow voice, soprano. She said exactly what I thought in my mind, in my tone of voice, my pace, which is not fast, it's, normal to slow. And she says, "Don't worry, Dora, everything will be all right." And I said, "Look," I said, "Dora, don't worry, everything will be all right. Christ will help you, because I gave you that message at exactly 11:45, knowing that we were invited to dinner that night, and I wouldn't be able to give you the message at 11:30. Anyway, I gave you the message at 11:45, and that's exactly what I thought in my mind, using those words towards Jesus Christ. I said, 'Christ, please help her.' And then I said, 'Don't worry, Dora, everything will be all right.'" Obviously, that thought was taken by Christ and given to her. And what happened, within 6 months, her husband returned to her on his knees, begging her to take him back. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. The power of prayer is that simple. Christ hears everything. But now let's go back to this. This thing. This is by Stephen McCalmy on Collective Spark. Fascinating research out of the University of Washington successfully replicates a direct brain-to-brain connection between multiple pairs of people in a scientific study. Follow up on the team's initial demonstration. Now, the example I gave you, I had to give you because I know that Christ loves, every single one of us. He can make saints out of even those who are not even, like I was, not even faithful. That's not the case with me anymore, thank goodness. This is a study concerning people to people, okay? The study involved 6 people who were engaged with each other in pairs from different areas of campus. Researchers sent signals from one person's brain over the internet to another person in an attempt to control the other's hand motions with thought. The study method. In order to properly conduct the study, researchers needed to separate the subjects and close off certain perceptions of the study method. Each center of thought was placed in front of a computer game where he or she had to defend a city by firing a cannon and intercepting rockets launched by a pirate ship. But the centers were not able to interact with the game physically. The only way they could properly defend their city was through thought. When a rocket was coming or when they wanted to fire a cannon, they had to think about doing that intentionally. Across campus, each receiver sat in a dark room with headphones on and no ability to see the computer game. Their right hand was positioned over top the touchpad that would fire the cannon when tapped. If brain-to-brain connection was successful between the two pairs, the sender would effectively be able to get the receiver to tap the touchpad and fire the cannon. From a technological standpoint, researchers use 2 types of non-invasive instruments that can connect with human brains in real time. One participant was hooked up to an electroencephalography machine that reads brain activity and sends electrical pulses via the web to the receiver. The receiver is wearing a swim cap with a transcranial magnetic stimulation coil placed near the area of the brain that controls hand movements. This setup effectively allows one person to send a command that would, in theory, move the hand of the other person simply through thought. Quote, "The new study brings our brain-to-brain interfacing paradigm from an initial demonstration to someone that is closer to deliverable technology," end quote, said co-author Andrea Stocco, a research assistant professor of psychology and a researcher at University of Washington Institute for Learning and Brain Sciences. He said, "Now we have replicated our methods and know that they can work reliably with walk-in participants," end quote. The results. It was found that accuracy varied depending on each pairing. The accuracy range was from 25 to 83%. Misses were mostly found to be caused by the sender failing to accurately execute the thought to send the fire command. The researchers also were able to quantify the exact amount of information that was transferred between the two brains. Interestingly, the degree of accuracy being low in subjects who could not properly extend intention to the receiver also indicates that it is not simply just thoughts that affect our reality, but actually the intention. Therefore, during study of the phenomenon accuracy in whether or not subjects are truly intended versus just thinking is crucial. For me personally, this brings interesting insight to my theory that thoughts don't create reality, but that there needs to be a power behind that thought. A strong intention, emotion, feeling, etc. Further to that, it takes deep practice and a level of mastery to truly train yourself to impact physical reality with thought and intention. This is not the first time brain-to-brain communication has been demonstrated scientifically. Another research team from the company Starlab in Barcelona, Spain, recently published a study with very similar results to the one above. Direct communication between two human brains was demonstrated, but this one only featured two subjects. Also, a study was done that demonstrated telepathy between humans during dreams. The research team from the University of Washington had been granted a new $1 million grant from the W.M. Keck Foundation so they could take their work to the next level. This clearly illustrates the validity and impressive potential implications of their work. Quote, imagine someone who's a brilliant scientist but not a brilliant teacher. Complex knowledge is hard to explain. We're limited by language, end quote, said co-author Chantal Pratt, a faculty member at the Institute for Learning and Brain Sciences at the University of Washington, assistant professor of psychology. Keeping an open mind, it feels like we are living in a time where new discoveries are truly making us question what it means to be human and who are we, what are our capabilities. If the story of who we truly are changes, that would change how we choose to create our society and life. Thankfully, there are many brilliant people out there not only doing this work to bring forth cutting-edge science. Of course, this new science does come with opposition and controversy as paradigms are challenged by these ideas. It's my feeling that there is little value in simply calling this work pseudoscience, as it's often called, as it only seeks to cast off this work without truly looking into it and remembering to stay curious and playful. Nikola Tesla said, "The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence." This was from plusone.org. This is Humans Can Communicate from Brain-to-Brain Telepathy, originally from Creative Evolution, published here on Creative Spark by Creative Commons. It's by Steve McCamley. And of course, the beginning thing, my personal experience, was a miracle and the truth of what happened. And it was basically, it was a miracle for me too, because it was the beginning of my conversion. Now, this is on a series of new things that we'll be doing, having to do with the soul and the spirit. And I think it's important for us to know such things. Thank you for your support. Please leave your comment. Thank you.